Hey everybody, it's Dusti Martin with Platinum Living Realty jumping in to give you your monthly market update for the city of Scottsdale. It is currently June 2nd, 2022. There are some big movements in our market, so buckle up. Let's go. All right, our active listings, brace yourself, are up 44.6% over this time last year. Now that sounds like a lot, but when you're going from almost no listings to maybe a few listings, that can tend to move your percentages quite a bit. So yes, our active listings are up 44.6% over this time last year, but once we get to supply and demand, hint, hint, wait till the end, you'll see what that really means in terms of being a buyer's or a seller's market. Our sold listings are down. Again, sounds kind of big and scary, 21.2% over this time last year, but our median price per square foot is up over 29% over this time last year, currently sitting at a median price per square foot of just over $430 per square foot in the city of Scottsdale. So in theory, we have more homes to sell and less of them are selling, but they're selling for a lot more money. But get this, our months of supply, and here's another percentage that sounds kind of scary, our months of supply is up 83.6% over this time last year. So time out. You're probably thinking, that's a big shift. That's kind of scary. Yeah, well, when you go from 3 weeks of inventory to like 5 weeks of inventory, when inventory is already so low that any movement in the opposite direction makes a huge jump, you kind of got to put it in perspective. So yeah, our months of supply is up over 83% over this time last year. But we're still sitting at 1.34 months of supply, or not quite 6 weeks, about 5 weeks, really. So keep that in mind. And then we look at our median days on market. That is down over 20%, almost 21% over this time last month, currently sitting at a median days on market of only 19 days. So homes are selling a lot faster, even though we have more inventory, and they're selling for more money. It's a little bit of a mystery, right? Now, some people say, and there are a couple analysts out there who are screaming that the sky is falling. We're heading towards a buyer's market. If this keeps up, we'll see ourselves in buyer's market territory by the end of the year. Same people also said the same thing this time last year. What normally happens in June, July, and August in Arizona? People leave. It's hot. Nobody's here unless they have to be here. Everybody's either up north camping and getting out of the heat, or they're in San Diego on the beach. So keep that in mind. The slowest part of our market, of our year, traditionally is June and July, especially the few weeks on each side of the 4th of July holiday. So keep that in mind. Arizona is now in our slow season. So let's look at the months of supply by price point, the supply and demand, and that will actually give you the information you need to make a more informed decision if you're buying or selling your home here in Scottsdale. So let's look at it. Like I said, we're at 1.34 months of supply. Remember, anything under 4 months is actually a seller's market. And for the last couple years, we've been like trending at 1 month or less, or even like statistical zero. And we haven't moved much past that in most of our price points. So let's keep that in mind. Our $0 to $100,000 price range, actual true statistical zero. There was one property available, it sold, and nothing new came on the market. So we're at zero. It literally cannot get any hotter if you have a property in that price range. In the $100,000 to $200,000 price range, we're at an even Steven 1 month of supply. Again, screaming hot seller's market. The $200,000 to $300,000 price range, we're at 5 weeks, just over a month. Then we get to the $300,000 to $500,000 price range, we're at 0.68, meaning 0.68, less than 1 month of supply, literally just over 2 weeks worth of inventory. And then we get down to the $500,000 to $700,000 price range. We're back to 5 weeks worth of inventory. Again, still screaming hot seller's market. And then we look at the $700,000 to $1 million. That we're at 1.08. So basically 4 weeks 4 weeks worth of inventory in the 700 to a million range. That is a crazy hot seller's market to be in for that high-end market. And then we look at the $1 to $3 million price range, and we're at 1.63, just over 6 weeks worth of inventory, not quite 7. And then we look at the $3 million and over price range, and we're at 3.73. In other words, 3 months and 3 weeks worth of inventory. Still inside seller's market territory. Remember, anything less than 4 months of supply is a seller's market. This time last year, the $3 million range was at 3.17. So big whoop. We had 2 weeks worth of inventory shift, but we're still in a seller's market, even for our luxury market, even for our super high end, over $3 million. Now, interest rates, we think maybe are starting to stabilize. We saw them go up a whole bunch in the spring, and then we saw them fluctuate a little bit down, and now they're back up a little bit. And we know that the Fed is going to keep increasing interest rates for the rest of the year. They're trying to tamp down this hyperinflation that we're seeing, right? And so they're trying to increase the interest rates to reduce the frenzy on the buying power and slow things down so it doesn't get too crazy and out of hand. And that's what we're seeing, is them starting to move back and forth, trying to stabilize things. But keep in mind, Arizona needs about 25 to 30,000 actual active listings in our MLS for it to be considered an even or stable market, meaning about 6 months worth of inventory. You know, that's not a buyer's market, it's not a seller's market. So right at 6 months is where we need to be for things to stabilize. And currently today, when I looked earlier today, we're at only 7,200 listings in the Arizona Regional MLS. We would need 3 times as much to get to a stable market. And I just don't see that happening anytime soon. You know, never underestimate Washington, D.C.'s ability to do really dumb things in an election year. So keep that in mind. Stranger things have happened. However, the way things are going now, we know that, yeah, we've got a little bit more inventory, but when you had nothing and you add a few hundred more, that makes a big jump. So keep that in mind, take it with a grain of salt, but also remember, this is our slow season in Arizona, and we're not going to see things start to speed back up until about August, September, when our back to school season is in full gear. People have found their new routines. It starts to cool down and our snowbirds come back, because that's generally speaking our busy season is roughly September, October through about May. We tend to see a lot of closings in June and July, but remember, those are homes that went under contract in April and May, or March, April, and May. And that's when we get this frenzy. So keep that in mind. So try not to listen to all the Chicken Littles out there. Try to get in contact with an agent who knows your neighborhood and your part of the market really, really well, or somebody who knows how to calculate those numbers so that you're not in the dark. And if you had any questions about what to expect in your market, whether you're looking to buy or sell, or what your home might sell for in today's market, go ahead and give me a call, 480-717-9405, or visit my website at dustimartinrealtor.com.